Hello everyone, my name is Sara Dietschy. Today we are talking about cameras because I haven't shared my camera setup in actually a very long time, and I did the thing. I did the thing where I'm like, I just am going to buy all of the cameras that I actually want. I'm gonna buy my dream setup. Some people might think it's a little overkill for YouTube, but man, it is turnkey, it is perfect, and more importantly, it is a setup that I can use for the next 5 years, and everything is just gonna be consistent and beautiful as long as I don't update my computers as much as I usually do. All right, so before we get into this video, I just wanna paint a picture for you guys, tell you a little story with the help of Storyblocks. Thank you, Storyblocks, for sponsoring this video. We are going to pick some videos from their amazing library of over 1 million royalty-free assets to help paint this picture. It's 2016. Sara, little Sara, just started her YouTube journey as a job. She loves cameras. She's obsessed with cameras. And then she starts her journey. The Sony a7S II, the Sony a7 III, the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. Oh, they came out with a new one. Oh, and another new one. Panasonic, GH4, GH5, GH6S, the S1H. So many cameras to choose from. I get distracted. I have a tech channel that includes cameras. Let's just buy all these cameras, borrow all these cameras, shoot with all these cameras because it's a good excuse for videos. But my job is to make videos, and every time I come up with a video concept, I have to stare at my cameras and I have to say, wow, I'm gonna use that one camera I used 3 times. I don't really know how to color grade the footage as much, but I'll learn on the fly. And then Sara spent late nights, so many late nights editing that footage, trying to make it perfect, somehow combining Panasonic footage with Sony footage with freaking Blackmagic footage. Guys, I literally did one interview where I used like half Panasonic, half Sony footage. It doesn't mix, it looks terrible, but I thought I was smart in getting the best of the best, getting one of each. But if you've done any sort of video professional work, guess what? You're gonna do a talking head where you need an A and B cam. You're gonna do a 3-cam setup interview with 2 people where you need a wide and you need a close-up of each person. That setup I had was terrible. I solved that problem. I can say it's funny now, but it was very painful for the first 10 to 15 years of my video career. I would just mix and match random cameras. It was so difficult. So today marks the day that Sara is solving her problem. Instead of buying a lot of one-off random cameras, she bought a set that looks beautiful. They will stand the test of time, but more importantly, they go together. With the chip shortages and stuff, it took so long for these cameras to get here, but I am such a big fan of making the investment that is going to save you time for your job. You know, if you followed the recent videos, I'm like taking my job a little bit more seriously. Like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber, forget these side hustles, right? So that was kind of like, you know, one of the reasons why I wanted to make the investment in just my first cinema camera setup, which is huge, but also making sure that I have cameras everywhere that match these. So these two, oh, nice. These 2 guys are FX6s. These are my first cinema camera purchases ever. The cinema camera's too heavy. I can't do that. I'm just a mere scrawny woman. Nah. You know the irony, guys, of that is if you're leveling this up to like an FX9 or even like a bigger cinema camera, or even these, if you're a man or a woman, guess what? They get heavy over time. They're heavier than mirrorless cameras. There's not much difference unless you're like a bodybuilder, okay? But I didn't find a lot of good videos in the FX6 with the basics of how do you view your footage after you shoot it? How do you go to the menu? So literally, if there's only 2 people out there who are thinking about getting the FX6, can I just share this with you? Quick start, okay? In order to go to the quick menu, you tap menu and it basically allows you to change frame rate, do audio, do the quick stuff, but that's not the main menu. In order to get to the main menu, so I'm gonna press menu again to go back, hold down the menu to get to the main menu. Say you just shot something, you wanna view your footage back, press thumbnail. Can go through the clips, watch it, press thumbnail again to get out of it. Okay, you see these little nibs? This is how you move around on the menus, and there's one of them on the handle, there's one on the audio handle, and then also there's one on the body right here to scroll, and you can actually click that to select menus to go through changing your ISO and your f-stop. And what's handy is all of those are on each accessory, so if you're just using the camera without the audio or the handle, you'll be able to select and go through the menus. And then everything else makes sense, but it took me so long to understand that long pressing the menu is to get to the actual menu, to change looks, to change to S-Cinetone. I don't know why there's not more basics on this camera. So if you 2 people are out there, and you might be 3, and you want me to do a full tutorial on this for dummies, for people who haven't used cinema cameras their whole life, let me know. Back to the normal video. And I tell you what, when you use DSLRs and mirrorless cameras for your entire life, this is gonna sound so silly, but just having a video camera that is meant to be held for a while, having an actual handle is revolutionary. Having all the buttons designed for video, it just seems like a new world that I actually feel silly that I waited so long to take part of it. Because I think when you do wedding films or maybe small corporate gigs, you know, mirrorless cameras are at such a good price and everyone's using them and that's what everyone's talking about. But sometimes investing that extra couple $1,000s for a better workflow, being faster when you're like on set or doing things, just having things set up as well has been so huge for me. So basically, we have the tele setup that you guys have seen if you watched my desk tour video. I'll talk a little bit about this in a minute. But basically, we have A cam, FX6, B cam, FX6. Okay, so buying actual video cameras, you know, they have some weight to them. So I wanted to get like real video tripods, right? So I went with these E-Image video tripods, and they're fine. I like them. They seem super durable. A little hard to adjust just because I love to have tripods on wheels. You know, if you can put anything on wheels or hang it up to the ceiling that has to do with lights or any filmmaking accessories, it saves you so much time. So I really love to have these on wheels. We can wheel them around in the office. But when it comes to video tripods and these, I think we just need to like take off the middle support. And they might be easier to adjust while on the wheels, but that's been a little annoying, but they just seem sturdy. That's what we need, especially when we have like a 15-pound, you know, teleprompter setup on top of it. So it's just been so nice to have this setup. And then also we have the same exact thing over at my condo. So yes, I wanted to invest in myself and finally just spend the money on the cameras that I know would be perfect, that could just be set up. I know how to color grade them exactly how I want to every single time. So I'm able to shoot S-Cinetone on whatever camera I have, and they all just mesh together. That's the biggest thing, them looking good together, right? So I wanted as similar of a setup in my condo, but I didn't want to buy 4 FX6s, so I got 2 FX3s, and what's really great about that is the audio interface that comes on top of it. I can basically plug a nice shotgun mic directly into the camera, so that setup is even more turnkey. So I can just sit down, press record. I have a teleprompter set up there as well. So I got to the point where I was like, I don't even want to put a lav on when I sit down to film a video in the condo. The sound isn't as good as a lav because, well, of course, it's right there, right? So I think I'm just gonna add I don't wanna add a rug because I love our concrete floors, but I'm just gonna put a rug underneath my desk. And I think that'll help a little bit. But yeah, it's just been so turnkey. That is the point of these setups. They're almost exactly the same whether I'm in the office or I'm at the condo filming by myself. And the condo is even more turnkey because that's when I'm filming by myself and I need everything to work perfectly all of the time and not have a lot of setup time, because then I'm just not gonna shoot the video. I'm gonna be tired after setting things up, you know, for 2 hours. I've done that too much in my life. I've never really had a setup that is just like set up like this, and it's really great. And sometimes we have a top-down shot and we just basically use C-stands, make sure there's a sandbag on the opposite side so it doesn't fall and hit your person. And I have a C-stand at both locations, and I couldn't justify buying another camera. I feel like having an A and B cam setup at each place is perfect, and basically the A7S3, it's just the floater camera. So we leave it at the office and I'll just take it home with me if I need it for anything, if I need to film some overhead stuff with an A and B cam already at the condo. So I very rarely need a third camera at that place. And oh, it's just been so nice. I want to talk about the why a little bit at the end, but I'm going to continue going through like the gear of this because I know that's probably why most of you guys are here. I love watching these videos of like, ooh, peeking behind the curtain, right? Okay, this is the A-cam shot that you guys are used to. Usually we turn off the house lights so it's more moody, and I'm just lit by aperture lights. So we have an Aperture 300D Mark II over here. And then I also need to do this setup where there is a second one over here. So it mimics basically the sun coming in from the windows. But currently I've just been kind of lazy and had one key light and then a little bit of a bounce from the outside. But usually you want to keep things completely up to light so it's constant. You don't have to worry about, you know, clouds changing how much light is coming inside. So we get the dark and moody vibe, but we have the house lights on just so you can see a little bit more of the space. This is this office space. I think we've only been in here for like 2 months, so proud of us for getting it ready soon, you know? So this is a fully sit stand desk. I always have affiliate links down in my description below. I love the L-shaped desk because it's just really great for not just filming, but I always have a lot of stuff. So I love having a big surface for that. Okay, so let's focus back up on the camera setup because we're talking about cameras. John, if you want to come behind me now and we will show you a little bit of what I see when I shoot a video. So we got that B cam over there. Usually we have 2 cameras going, also with my computer, where if I want to pull up notes in Notion. Let's just go to one real quick. Because it is a teleprompter and it is over a camera, we always need to go to dark mode to lessen the effect over the lens. Okay, so we plugged the MacBook just via HDMI into this ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. It's a Blackmagic video switcher. So switching between A cam, B cam, and then the computer. As you can tell, the text is pretty small, so we're just going to make it big here. I center it over the lens and boom, I basically have a super quick teleprompter setup where I can just talk to you guys and I'm staring exactly at the lens, but then I also have my notes over it like that. So I would say my videos are like 60% shooting from the hip like I am in this video. I didn't make any notes for this video actually, so that's probably why it's so like but other videos I want to be precise. I want to make sure I get facts right, and I do way more pre-production. Usually that's more of like my reviews. So that is just super handy to have. I can switch in between if I want to see what camera angles are what. And you know, this is not traditionally how a teleprompter is used, having a video image over it. So when you do switch angles, especially if this was like a white web page, you will get a little bit of like a light flash. So you just have to watch out a little bit for that. But the use case of it is so much more better than maybe like a little bit of some light leaks from the screen over your image, because typically teleprompters are just used for like words over a camera like that, right? But this is so great to have the HDMI out from the switcher going into this iCan teleprompter, and it includes a screen. I choose the high bright option because the screen, you need a lot of light. You need this display to be really bright in order to see a good image on the reflections. Okay, so let's talk about the lenses. Go into the A cam right here. The lens that we have on this FX6 A cam is actually a 35mm 1.4. So it kind of allows you to get extra depth if we need it. If we want it to be super blurry back here, we can get that. But I'm pretty sure we keep it on like f2.8. What's it at now?
F4 actually.
Ooh, f4. Let's crank it to f1.4. Let's give him some of that. Oh, that's probably why we have it, because we don't have an ND filter. Oh!
We literally have an
This is the amazing part about freaking cinema cameras, is the built-in NDs. Wow, I can't believe I just said those things.
Ooh, why haven't we been doing that?
I don't know. We're so silly. Okay, so that was a little bit of a dub moment, but the internal NDs are so clutch, especially Sony's, because they are variable NDs. It's an electronic ND, so when you go outside, you can basically set it on auto, keep your f-stop, shutter, ISO, all on the same values, and basically depending on how bright it is outside, the variable electronic ND is the thing that changes and makes your image brighter or darker, which is just, I love it so much. So this is the full 1.4 on the 35mm. So this is just a really, really great A-cam lens because, man, we just stick at this focal length. We don't need to change. It's a low f-stop and we're good to go. But usually I like showing a little bit of the office behind me, so we'll usually keep it at 2.8. Also, we have a B-cam, also the FX6, and this keeps my favorite focal length, and that is 24 to 105 f4. This lens also has optical image stabilization, which really comes in handy with the FX6, and it's a much better focal length for shooting B cam when you're kind of up close to the subject, opposed to the 70 to 200, which I used a lot in my New York office. But we had a little bit more room where that camera can be farther from me, and this focal length just makes so much sense, and a little bit of a tighter setup. You can go wide, you can go up close to what I'm showing the tech, you know, in my hand. We've done a lot of zooms and stuff that adds just more character to the video, and I'm a big fan of not using a B cam as just having a second shot, because guys, we're doing YouTube, so you want to feel connected to me because I'm talking directly to the audience. So whenever I cut to a B cam, I'm also talking to that camera. It's not just, Kyle, you can leave it on this angle here. It's not just me talking to another camera and then you seeing the side of my face. That isn't YouTube, that is corporate interview bullshitaki mushrooms, right? So big fan of B cam. That is the same exact lens that we have on the second FX3 in my office. I basically that's the only additional lens I had to buy because I love that focal length. So we have the B cam camera, have the same exact lens, same exact setup. And then the A cam lens I have on the FX3 is the 24 to 70 f2.8. Ooh, my all-time favorite lens. That 2.8, great bokeh. I'm trying to say bokeh, like bokeh, because you guys keep telling me that's the proper pronunciation. I'm gonna feel weird until I get it right. Bokeh, bokeh, bokeh. If you were to ask me the question, Sarah, I wanna invest in a good lens. Which one should I buy? Which is the most versatile? I would hands down say the G Master Sony 24 to 70 f2.8. Love that lens. So that's what I choose to have on my A cam in the condo, and I'm a little bit closer to my wall there, so that f2.8 allows me that separation. And you know what, as I'm talking right now, I'm just now noticing that we have a perfect 3-point lighting setup at my condo, but we don't even have a hair light on me here. It's fine when we have that natural light coming in from the windows that kind of provides the separation. You can see the light on the back of my head, but for the dark setups, we need to hang a hair light, like probably right up there.
Yep.
So on the to-do list, okay guys? I tried to use what was already existing in my Sony setup. That's why I went with Sony, because I already had good lenses, so I wouldn't have to, you know, spend more money with like E-mount lenses if I maybe went the Blackmagic route or something. And like, okay, so why Sony over those other cameras? Honestly, it's ease of use. I feel really comfortable color grading either the standard footage out of these cameras or S-Cinetone. It's just the vibe and look that I love and I'm familiar with. Blackmagic cameras look so crisp when you're filming them, but I could never get a color grade that looks perfect 100% of the time. So that was a big thing with that. And then Panasonic cameras, man, they're crisp. They're great for filming people who stay still. That's why I used it for my podcast a lot, but terrible autofocus. They've gotten better, but Sony's autofocus is just there, and then Blackmagic doesn't even have autofocus. So yeah, I feel like if you're either Canon or Sony, you have so many good actual like cinema camera options right now that are at like a really good price point. But then if you're more looking at the $1,000 to $2,000 price point for a proper cinema camera, that's where Blackmagic comes into play. And if you're kind of a starter in that place and you want the more cinema camera look and functions, that Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K with the internal ND filters is really clutch, but awkward shape. Weird shape. Storyblocks, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Guys, B-roll takes time and money, and Storyblocks is there for you with over 1 million royalty-free stock assets that you can use. Not just B-roll, but also really cool motion graphics templates. Anything from After Effects to things that you can use in Premiere. There are so many options. The Unlimited All Access plan gives you unlimited downloads to all of these assets. The templates, music, images, sound effects, all of the things. Storyblocks has affordable subscriptions if you're a creator like me, but they also have enterprise plans for bigger teams. Storyblocks is such an amazing tool, so if you want to try it out today, you can check out my link in the description below, or go to storyblocks.com/Sara Dietschy. That is me. Okay, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and now you know all of the cameras that we shoot our stuff on. So at any point in the month, if you're like, wow, that looks really good, or you've been watching me the past couple months, now you know. I'll leave all the links in the description below, including that Storyblocks link. Thank you so much for sponsoring. All of the Sony cameras, the teleprompter setup, and yeah, we can just get back to making stuff. I am kind of obsessed with video switchers right now, so I know no one's gonna watch that video, but I'm excited for that video coming up. So let me know if you like this video. Hit that subscribe button down below for new videos every single week. And until next time, guys, stay peachy. Okay, bye.